hard act to follow. Good morning. I'm George Huffman. I live in the choir and the bell choir. I have a role in the circuit rider. I do a bunch of other stuff too. Isaac asked me to say a few words. When I thought about this, I realized a few weeks ago as I was listening to the gospel lesson from John, which was about Jesus meeting with the disciples on the beach after they went fishing, that this is what I should talk about. With my apologies to Daniel and the work that went into the rest of his message that day, the particular part of the story that caught my attention came after the part where the disciples caught a whole bunch of fish, and before the part where Jesus challenged Peter. And it's not the most important part of the story, but it's this. Jesus had a fire going and was cooking fish and bread when the disciples showed up on the beach. Jesus had exactly what the disciples needed after a whole night of fishing, and what they had to do was show up. The gospel story reminded me of coming to St. Matthew's. Our family had lived in Bowie for several years, and we decided one summer to check out the local churches. That process lasted pretty much one church because we came to St. Matthew's first. And it just felt right from the start. There was a youth group into which our daughter fit. The music the choir challenged me. Music the choir sang challenged me, as in this morning, partly because the St. Matthew's Old Standard pieces weren't the Old Standard pieces I knew, but also because Isaac was pushing us to work on new styles. The bell choir needed another player, and it turned out that decorations needed to be put up at Advent, and there were volunteers needed to go do reconstruction work on the Gulf Coast. And St. Matthew's had this amazing mission focus, both at the local level and at the larger sort of world stage. And as well, we knew pretty soon that St. Matthew's had a lot of other things going on, like EEC and the theater troupe, Boy Scouts, and providing space for activities like square dancing in the community. We knew of a few of the members already, and we met a lot more pretty soon, and we knew that we'd found our new church family. And looking back, thinking about the gospel message, what we needed was here at St. Matthew's, and what we needed to do was show up. But we weren't quite in yet. The minister at the time was Dick Stetler, and he advertised the next membership class as a chance to learn about St. Matthew's, whether or not you were really planning on joining. So we took him up on it, and we went through the class, and we didn't join. That's because we still had some pretty strong ties to our previous church. But after a couple of years, the question was, so why aren't we formalizing the thing which is true, which is that St. Matthew's was our church home? So we did. And for the next 20-odd years, and continuing, we've been a part of this vibrant community called St. Matthew's, where we're a part of the living and learning and spreading the Christian message. It occurs to me that I now, and we collectively, are the current they, air quotes, that the next new people coming through the door will meet. Our life together and the things that we do as a church are the fish and the bread cooking on the fire that these people will encounter when they come through our doors. St. Matthew's has a great story to tell, so this is an opportunity, as it always has been, of course, to solidify our foundations, to think about new things, and to discern where the Spirit is trying to lead us. Thank you.